Hello guys, there is a major challenge I want us to discuss today. For those who plant yams in sacks, whether at the commercial level or just behind your backyard, where do you normally get the soil you use? Or how do you get the soil that you use? Because for me, it's a big challenge sometimes, especially when I'm planting yams in sacks in large quantity. So for those that are even commercial yam in sacks in large quantity, you will understand better what I'm trying to say. So it's a major challenge. But let us look at my 5 top ways of getting soil that I load in my sack to plant yam. You may have more than that. I'm just a moderator, so I want us to really interact so that we can all learn in this video. So let's go right into it. My number 1 way of getting soil for my sack is to get soil from that very location that I'm going to arrange my sack. Hold on, I'm going to explain. This is an experimental study I'm doing. That's a discussion for another day. But let me tell us how I got the soil for these sacks. I'm working on some experiments for some seed yams. Now, what I did, since I'm going to be planting on top of soil, on top of the ground where I have not, it's not cemented, it's not concrete. That's a very major advantage when you are planting on places that are not cemented, they are not concrete floors. What you do is to get the soil from the place and put them inside the sacks. Now, the major advantage for this is that when you are doing commercial yam sack farming, you are going to plant acres, very large areas. It will be very challenging getting soil to fill all your sacks. So just carry your sack there, just remove the soil in that area and start filling your sack, start arranging your sack. Now, there's one more thing I need to tell you about that. Irrigation is very key. This is an advantage for this method. Irrigation is very key for yams, water retention. One of the ways I do this is I will try and hollow the place where I'm going to arrange my sack, make it a little bit deeper than the other parts of the soil so that water can pool in there. That's an advantage. I'll just put a clip on the video now so that you see what I'm talking about, just a short clip to make you understand better. You see, this place is a little bit depressed compared to the top area where I did not arrange sack. Do you understand? So if water comes in, it will pull in here and will sink down. And don't forget, I have told us earlier that one of the things that will make you have very good tubers, large tubers from Yam-in-Sacks, is to perforate the bottom. So once you perforate the bottom, the roots will go down. So you can imagine washing nutrients from other parts of the area you planted the yam. They will all pull in there. And of course, your yam will do very well. So number 1 way, get soil from the place you want to arrange the sack. But in getting that, make sure that as you are getting it, you hollow the place or you make it a little bit more depressed compared to other parts so that water can pool there. It's a very major advantage. Try it and you will thank me for it later. My number 2 way to get soil for my sack is to dig up a pit and use the soil that I'm digging out from that pit. Or I'll break down a hilly place, a place that is hilly. I'll level it down and use the soil for my sack. That's my number 2 way. Now, this is very important because sometimes you may not have the luxury of this floor. But if you have this ground that is not concrete, but if you have a place you can just dig up, a small place, maybe 1 meter by 1 meter, you dig it up, dig it down, and all the soil coming out from you, you'll be very surprised. You have very large quantity of soil coming out from that place. Then you can use them to fill your sack. The next question you'll be asking, what will I now do with the pit? Let me show you the one I have done previously so that you see what I did with that pit. Guys, this is an old pit that I dug up soil from previously. Now, what I'm now doing with this is that all debris in certain areas in my farm, certain part of my farm, I heap them here. I dump them here. Okay, these ones are my manure normally. I'm sure I showed all that before. So, but see, you see debris that are here. In fact, I just even discovered that there is one yam that is growing. I'm going to stake it later. That is an advantage for me. All right. So this is what I am doing with this pit. In about 6 months, maybe a year from now, I will still come here, remove the top debris, and I'll be able to dig up some compost soil that I can use and mix with other soil to load in my bag. So this is the advantage that I have with digging up it, because it affords me of the opportunity of using it as a compost pile for subsequent use. All right, let's go to the third. My number 3 ways of getting soil for my sack is to filter soil from compost pile or from old dump site. All right, this is an aspect of my farm. When I weed my farm, I don't just burn the debris. I heap them up somewhere, and this is one of such places. So here, with time, it will decay. Everything here will just decay, and of course, it will leave me with very rich soil. I will come here, filter. Don't mind this whole potato. It's the stuff that old potato vines that I heaped here that just germinated. Funny enough, when you still come here, maybe 3 or 4 months, you see some of all these potato vines. They would have produced potato inside this pile. So that one is bush allowance for me. All right, so but let me show you one of the compost pile that is ready for filtering. I will show you the filter I normally use. Take note, this is a very, very rich way of getting soil. So don't burn or discard your debris. Always heap them somewhere. It will do you good. This is an old compost pile. As you can see, we have broken bottles and polythene bags and even old sacks around here. It is ready to be filtered, and this is the filter I normally use. You can get it from places where they sell building materials or any good filter, as far as it is strong. So from this place, I can get very rich soil. It has decomposed for quite some time. I'll just take a few, find a place where I can just be filtering them. Later, I will load them in bags and all that. So this is one of the ways. You can see the soil coming out is looking very, very fine and all that. So this is one of the ways you get soil from compost pile that has stayed for quite some time. Guys, my number 4 way to get soil to fill in my sack is to patronize vendors. And what that means is that you will have to buy. Now, this might sound very, very strange to some persons, because in certain places in Africa, we have soil abundantly. So the issue of having to buy soil, why will I buy? All right, well, it's not so for so many other persons. There are some places they want to plant yams in sack, but this type of soil they have, stoning, and they cannot really make use of that, because yam will need soil that they can penetrate in to enlarge their tubers. So patronizing soil vendors is an area that we should now start looking at. We should now start exploring, especially for those of us in Africa. So you could even be a soil vendor selling topsoil or a good mixture for Yam-in-Sacks. So that is an opportunity. It's a business opportunity I'm throwing out there. Anybody can key into it and use it. So one of the ways to get soil for your sack is to patronize soil vendors. I think there will be a group of people now currently that will be even working on things to make sure that soil that you put in the sack is unique, and so they will be selling them. That's an opportunity. So I want to move to my number 5. Guys, my number 5 way of getting soil for your sack is to reuse the soil that you have used previously to plant Yam-in-Sacks. Now, these are some of my sacks. Some of them, they have even disintegrated. Actually, this one I've done the milking. So you can see that I have soil here. Sometimes you can have large amount of sacks that you have used to plant yams the previous year. You've harvested. So what's going to happen to that soil? Are you going to go and look for another soil and start filling that? You can reuse that same soil for your next season planting. Now, there are a lot of things to do to that soil before you actually reload them in your sack. It is called recharging. So that is a discussion for another day. But just know that you can reuse the same soil that you have used to plant previously in another season. Guys, at this point, I want you to know that we are doing quite a lot. We are doing a lot of experiment, carrying out a lot of experiment currently concerning planting yams in sacks. This is more like a part 1 to this very video. There will be a part 2 because there are a lot of things you can do to this soil that you have obtained before you load them inside your sacks. So I want you to keep staying with us. Subscribe if you have not done so, because there are a lot of things that you will learn. Now, before that part 2 video, I'm sure you will want to learn some more stuff about this stuff. So I want you to watch this next video because it will educate you on certain things. See you in the part 2 of this video. God bless.